This is Don't Panic, episode number 194, recorded February 26th, 2018. Don't hit things with your car. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast on GadgetNet. You, I'm Shaun Jennings, joined as always by the Merriam and Webster of tech podcasting, a couple of guys who are the definition of professional. It is Dan Miller and Colby Rabideau.
Wow, we haven't had one of those in a while.
Actually, I may have done that one before. I just didn't remember, but that one popped into my head, and I said that these guys, they're just like the dictionary. Merriam-Webster started right here in Springfield, Massachusetts.
That's right.
Really?
Actually, and you know what other and combination was started here? Smith & Wesson was started here as well.
Huh.
Oh, wow.
A bit more of a bummer, but, hey, that's,
True. The consequences of that are more severe.
For sure.
Have you seen Merriam-Webster's burns on Twitter, though?
Oh, yes. They're sassy.
They do have some sick burns.
Yeah, I think the consequences can be pretty dire either way.
Indeed. How are you, Shaun? I'm going to change up the format here.
Yes, I think,
I'm the host
no
now.
one ever asked how I'm doing. Thank you. Finally, it took 194 episodes to finally be like, Shaun, how are you doing? I'm glad you
Shaun,
asked.
we have some questions for you.
Oh, boy.
I think people have been dying to know.
How many things did I hit with my car in the past week? Only one. That's where the title came from. I couldn't think of a better one, and so I took it upon myself. Yeah, don't back into things with your car. That's a bad move. Then you'll get a big dent in your car.
Now, what sort of thing did you back into?
Another car. I will not give the whole life story here because it's not that interesting. But basically, what happened was I was pulling into an intersection, and a car was supposed to be turning, therefore not hitting me, but at the last minute changed their directional and decided to go straight. But they didn't hit me because I slammed on my brakes and they swerved around me. But then I was in the middle of an intersection, so to get out, I put my car in reverse because I was worried about getting hit by someone else. Didn't realize there was a car behind me and backed into him. The insurance company told me I should just stayed in the intersection and gotten hit because then it would have been their fault. And I said, who says that? That's terrible.
Yeah.
What kind of attitude is that?
You know what? I've noticed this about drivers in America in general, or perhaps this is true in the rest of the world. People think that, this is true of pedestrians, too. Oh, I have the right-of-way, therefore I'm just going to walk out in the intersection. Or, it's fine for me to do this because, it's technically part of the law. There's this really dangerous, intersection. I'm just going to go because it says... But, you'll win the lawsuit if it came to that. But you're still going to get, a broken leg if you get in a car crash or worse, right? So what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, it was the difference between me getting slammed at 35 miles per hour right in my door versus a small ding in my bumper at 5 miles per hour in reverse. So
yeah,
I'll
take
that
the same
deal.
thing that you did.
So, however, the bummer side of that is that I now have a big dent in my bumper. But other than that, great.
Boo.
Awesome.
So that was sweet.
Well, yeah, I guess it's good.
Yeah.
Did you have your
mostly okay?
Did you have some sort of device that could have recorded your heart rate during that time?
I did not. Boy, my head. Yes, Dan, Segway King, Dan Miller. Yes, I went and so basically I was like, God, I felt really bummed. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to have to pay all this money to get my car fixed and this sucks. And I'm really bummed. You know what would make me feel better? If I bought an Apple Watch. So I bought an Apple Watch. So finally
nice.
I upgraded. There you go. The 38 millimeter in space gray. Currently rocking the black sports band, though I have more bands on order.
What bands did you order?
So I refused to pay Apple's prices. So I did not go through them. I found a company I'm going to try. Where did you guys get your bands? I was mean to ask
Apple.
you. Yeah.
So I got the Sweet Home had an article about the best non-Apple Apple Watch bands, and so I tried one of the Milanese loops, which is the
metal
steel one that moves around and has a magnet, and I liked it, except so I don't know, maybe Apple's is better, but the magnet wasn't strong enough, so it would come off all the time. It was comfortable, I like the way it felt on my wrist better than the sport band does, because it doesn't stick to my wrist hairs as much. but it didn't stay on, which was like I always had to be like adjusting it, which I didn't like. So I ended up going back to the sport band for now.
I like the sport band. It's very comfortable. I will say that's probably my favorite thing about the watch. It's extremely comfortable to wear. I barely noticed, and I hated sleeping with my Pebble because I didn't think it was very comfortable. I actually don't mind sleeping with this, so I do think it's a very comfortable watch to wear.
Yeah, definitely.
I will give him credit for that. But it has been a learning curve. This is probably the hardest to learn Apple device I've ever purchased.
Really?
I had to Google multiple times, how do I blank? Or like
Such as what?
Like, how do you connect your watch to the Wi-Fi? Answer, it does it automatically. Probably could have figured that one out. I also wanted to do the thing where you send your heartbeat to somebody. That was really buried. That was very hard to figure out.
Oh, yeah. That used to be more prominently featured, but I suspect no one really used it, so they buried it.
Also, the control panel is just a bunch of icons, and I had to, like, guess at what they were. Because there's one where it's like a happy mask and a sad mask, which is theater mode, but I kind of had to look that one up. And then there's the one with the little water drop, and I'm like, what is that?
That's the one that makes the water squirt out.
That's right. Well, I knew that after I tapped
Wait,
it.
what?
And it started going... And it was going nuts. Yeah, it's not...
I never even noticed that.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
can make the water squirt out of the speakers?
Yes, you remember that from the
Oh my
keynote?
god, I am doing that as soon as we get off of this podcast. I'm going to submerge it in fucking
You should do it right now.
It's really tempting.
So the thing that got me for like 2 weeks, I would be using it and I would like look down at my Apple Watch and all of a sudden it would be on a different fucking watch face.
Yeah, that's happened to me.
Than I had set, and I couldn't figure out why. And eventually I learned that you can like, when you have multiple watch faces set up in the app, you can like swipe between them.
Yeah.
So I guess I was just accidentally swiping between them, but it took me a long time to figure out what the deal was with
I
that.
have been having that happen recently, but only recently. So thank you for solving that mystery.
I have an issue with again, it's because I'm coming from the Pebble, and I kind of, there's things about the Pebble I really miss, like the always on screen and the battery life and all those sorts of perks you get with having the e-ink. And I kind of wish that I feel like Pebble doesn't get enough credit. They made a really dope watch, and I feel like if they had the iOS level of access the Apple Watch had, it would be a better version of the Apple Watch. Like I don't even debate that because I really like that watch. And I'm just struggling to transition to this, and I'll get there, but it's just taken me a lot more time. And there's a lot of things that I love the digital crown for certain menus, but it's terrible for other menus. Or it's like little things where I wish I had more buttons, or it took me a while to stop pushing the other, not the crown, the other button. I don't know what you call it. I kept wanting
The other button.
The lower button. I kept wanting to push it as a back button, and it's not a back button. But I kept thinking it was a back, but they're just kind of, or like the apps where it's all the little circles and I immediately changed that to a list because I didn't like that.
You can change that to a list?
See, that's what I'm saying. The UI is
Whoa.
bonkers. When you're on the app menu, if you do a force touch, it'll allow you to switch to list mode.
What?
Yeah. And then
That's insane.
And what's great about that is to list view, and then you can just use the crown to just scroll through the list. I think it's a little easier.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
And I found it by total accident, by the way.
This is a million times better than the other thing.
But there's just certain things about the UI. The other thing I don't like is I need more persistent notifications because they disappear weirdly and quickly. What I liked about the Pebble is until you took an action, it never left your screen. And this, they disappear so quickly.
Did you know you can swipe down from the top and see them?
I did, but then it's hard, and then you're like, but I don't like that menu either.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do wish that the notifications would be like active on the main screen longer. Yes, I wish I could.
No, it's like you have 10 seconds to look, and if you don't look in 10 seconds, you're
it's like 3 or 5 seconds.
It's not the problem is I felt with the Pebble it was like notifications first and then everything else second. With the Apple Watch, notifications are like the fifth thing it wants you to do, and it's just not in the. I just need notifications to be a bigger part of the watch. But I'm complaining a lot. I really do like it. I do think it's very nice. I think the health stuff is really cool. I've been playing with a bunch of apps, the sleep tracking and stuff. Like it's all really cool.
What have you been using for sleep tracking?
So I tried an app. It's called, I've only used it for 2 nights. It's called Auto Sleep. I don't know. It was well reviewed in the App Store, and so far I like it.
I've been using the one called Pillow for a couple of weeks, and so far I like that one. It says it does this smart alarm thing where it like makes your alarm go off at like the optimal time to wake you up.
Yeah.
And like weirdly enough, it seems like it works, which is freaking me out a little. Like I don't know why.
Oh, I can explain that. I used to have something that did this, but I haven't been able to get one that works on the Apple Watch. I thought so. Like there's like circadian rhythms. So that's tied to your like when you fall into deep sleep. And you don't want to be woken out of deep sleep. So as long as it can figure out like, oh, Colby goes into deep sleep on average like every 3 hours while he's sleeping, then they can figure out like, okay, let's wake him up like 15 minutes after the deep sleep ends, or a half hour.
Yeah.
That's why it can feel like one night you might sleep for 8.5 hours, you'll wake up and just feel exhausted, and another night you'll sleep for 5.5 hours and wake up feeling amazing. It's not because sleeping for 5 hours is better, it's because you hit your wake up time at the right moment.
Yeah. Yeah, but in any case, it seems to work pretty well, which I don't know.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, I only do one snooze. Like, I used to have to set, like, 8 alarms, and so, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that continues, but...
Yeah, so far so good. I was going to say, what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, the app I've probably used the most on the watch is the heart rate thing, because I'm just so fascinated by it. I think it's so neat, and I keep wanting to check it because I've never really done that before. And if you don't mind me asking, and you don't have to reveal this because it's sensitive health information, what is your resting heart rate? I'm just.
How can you tell?
You can do it. I don't know if you can do it from.
You go to the heart app. There's a heart rate
On my phone?
on the watch.
You can do it on my watch. Yeah.
All right. Now with my new list view, can I find the heart?
It's alphabetical.
All right.
And then once you're in the app, it's scroll down and it'll say resting rate, and it'll say what your today is. I don't know if you can get the overall average.
My current heart rate is 95. I'm all riled up. My resting heart rate is 59 beats per minute.
Okay. Right now I'm at 70.
63 is my resting heart rate.
And what is it right now?
75.
Oh, all right.
Oh, now I'm at 105.
Oh, man.
His heart's
You're stressing
racing.
yourself out just looking at it.
Calm down. It's going to be okay, buddy.
It's making me nervous.
Be in front of a worldwide audience.
I've had a couple times where I was looking back at like my like sleep heart rate stuff from like the night before or whatever, and like had a huge like heart rate spike in the middle of the night, which is weird.
It's so cool.
I don't remember what happened, but I feel like I must have had a bad dream or something. I'm glad I don't remember it.
Maybe, you know what, Colby? Maybe you woke up, figured out how to erase your memory, and then went back to sleep because it was that bad.
Wow.
Yeah, or maybe I just forgot. I don't know.
I think one of those explanations is more likely.
We'll leave that up to the viewer to decide. All right, that's enough of the Apple Watch. Do you guys have any... We spent all the time on my banter. Do you have any banter before we get into the news of the week? There's not a ton.
No. I had to buy a Peter Pan bus ticket today, and they don't have a mobile app. Can you believe it?
I actually can believe it.
Yeah, but it's 2018.
I'm not saying it's a good idea. I believe it. That sounds like Peter Pan, which, by the way, was started in Springfield, Massachusetts.
That's right.
Yes.
I learned that today when I have this habit I've developed over the past couple of years of just like Wikipediaing everything that sounds mundane. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what? I bet there's something interesting on the Peter Pan bus Wikipedia and that was it. I was like, oh, Springfield, Massachusetts. Shaun's there.
Yeah. So if you ever need to come to Springfield, they got a lot of buses that come here.
Nice.
They don't have an app.
You know, fun fact, I've never taken a like ticketed coach bus anywhere. I've been in like a bus for like a trip or something.
Yeah.
But I've never like taken a coach bus from like
you gotta try out
city
that,
A to city B.
The $15 or $10 New York to Boston bus. I think it might even be less money than that.
What, the $5 mega bus?
Oh, it's not Megabus, my friend.
Better?
It doesn't leave from Port Authority, let's just say that.
Oh, dear.
Are those the ones that catch on fire?
Yeah.
Yeah. Only sometimes.
I had a Maris bus that caught on fire one time.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Was. Then we had to all pile onto the other bus. Go back to Poughkeepsie.
I went to a wedding once, and the bus that was taking like the bridal party from the ceremony to the reception caught on fire on the way.
It's a good
So
sign.
like the whole bridal party was like standing on the side of the highway someplace in Rhode Island. It sounded funny. Yeah.
I heard I heard another funny wedding story where they had the reception on a boat, and it was somewhere in the Midwest. I forget. Maybe it was the Mississippi. I don't know. Some river. It must have been the Mississippi actually, because they had like a trip time. Like, oh, like we'll get on the boat at 6 and we'll be like back in the harbor by 10, or something like that. But because of like the tides, they were delayed by 2.5 hours getting back because they thought they were going to be going with the tide, but they were going against it both ways or something crazy. Yeah. But they kept the bar open the whole time for no extra charge.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's sort of what happened with at the wedding. Like cocktail hour turned into like cocktail 2.5 hours. It was a good wedding.
Well, just like a bus that's on fire, we have got to careen forward in the show towards our eventual doom by moving into the tech news. I want to remind everybody who's watching us live, thank you. Watching us live at twitch.tv/don'tpanicshow or facebook.com/don'tpanicshow. There are a whopping 3 of you, so thank you for being part of the show. Comment on Facebook or Twitch. We're watching. We might mention your comment.
We're not supposed to reveal that for the recording listeners.
That
You've broken the illusion.
No, you know what? Hey, look, if you're listening to the recording, we only like you a little less. That's okay. Don't take it personally. It's fine. We still will listen to you, just not as much. But we're going to move in. There's not a ton of news. We're kind of in the quiet period in terms of what this show follows for news anyway. We could talk about all the new Huawei phones.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, wasn't there some big Mobile
World Congress? Yeah. Do you want to talk about the new Sony Xperia phones? Because we can.
Are they interesting?
No.
The new Samsung emoji looked kind of...
I did put the S9 in the rundown because I felt we don't give Samsung enough love on this show.
Yeah, let's start there.
Okay, it's going to be very short. At Mobile World Congress this week, Samsung announced the Galaxy S9, the update to the Galaxy S8. And the update part is not very much. It's got the exact same screen. They moved the fingerprint scanner from the right of the camera to just below it. It has a faster processor, the Snapdragon 845, either 4 or 6 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes of onboard storage. The only big new thing about it is the camera. It's better than the old one. Single on the S9, dual on the S9 Plus. It is the first with a mechanically adjustable aperture. I'm not sure what that does, but it sounds great. It can switch between a very bright f1.5 to a smaller f2.4, depending on the exposure conditions. 28% more light. Etc., etc. 12 megapixel camera sensor, second generation dual pixel autofocus, and so on. It will launch with Android 8.0 Oreo with some of that Bixby love on top of it. And as Dan mentioned, the sort of gangbusters feature of AR emoji. Rather than using 3D face scanning technology, it really just captures a picture of your face, and using over 100 points and machine learning, it builds a custom 3D character of your features, and then creates 18 animated GIF stickers that are accessible in the keyboard for use in messaging apps. You can even customize it with hairstyles, glasses, and outfits as well.
Weird.
Yeah, it will be available on all major carriers in the U.S. In 3 colors, black, purple, or blue. A gray model will be available internationally. I didn't see a release. Let me double check on the release date here because I know people are really wanting to find out. Available for pre-order on March 2nd and arrive in stores on March 16th. Basically the same as the S8. I like the purple color.
Yeah, that's a new one.
I just think that's a neat color.
It
Anyway.
reminds me of like black raspberry ice cream.
Yeah.
Yes, not a great ice
it's got
cream
a very
flavor.
mauve color.
Mhm.
Very nice. I don't know. Any thoughts on the S9?
No, I just thought the emojis looked funny.
They do look funny. They definitely look. They do look like some company's knockoff of an emoji. I mean, but like not a good knockoff, like a blatant one.
Yeah, they're not really fun. Like that is the brilliance of the Animoji. It's like it doesn't try to be some amazing, like, it's an ultra realistic AR avatar of yourself.
Which they probably could do if they wanted, but that's not.
Yeah, but
It's fun that because it's the normal emoji.
right. And it's you get a little bit of the uncanny valley effect. Did you read that story? I don't remember if this was like a story or just some article I read somewhere about the design intern whose internship project was designing the emoji icons for iOS.
No,
What?
that's neat.
Yeah. She had like one person she partnered with who is like one of the best icon designers in the world, and they sat down an entire summer and cranked through hundreds of emojis. And at the time, emojis were not big in the United States, so they were sort of taking the first like Western crack at some of these things that didn't really have like analogs in our society. It was pretty interesting. I'll try to find the article.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. That's very cool.
You say that's wicked cool, Colby?
I did.
Oh, nice. You're bringing it back, or you're bringing it out
It happens sometimes.
to the rest of the world.
I say wicked.
Colby, how did you join the video on Facebook? How do you join something?
I just navigated to the page.
But underneath the video it says Colby Rabidou joined. What does that mean?
I just navigate. I don't know.
I've never seen that before. Okay.
Really? I've noticed that a bunch lately.
Oh.
Sean, did none of your friends watch our podcast?
I don't go on Facebook. That's what it is.
Oh,
I avoid it like the plague because I hate everything about
That's
it.
fair. Yeah. I feel like it's not fun anymore. It's hard to say why.
No, you know what it is? If I see one more goddamn
Recipe video? Oh.
No. I'll watch recipe videos all day long compared to the
That is so weird.
share if you know a friend who's like this, and that's like some 3-second animated thing of some stupid thing, and then someone commented on it like, "Oh my God, Sarah, it's just like you," and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is annoying." And there's like 100 of them, and I hate it.
Sad.
That I have noticed more of that. I feel like that was a big like 2007, 2008 thing.
And it's
I don't
bad.
really-
Well, I think the autoplay video and then the GIF, being able to do GIFs in comments, really just sort of destroyed that completely. And I think the new Facebook algorithm, where they're focused on comments and shares and interactions, are just going to surface more of that bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
Why aren't we a Facebook link farm? Like, why aren't we just making up content for the purpose of generating
Like
millions
Farmville?
of likes? No, like the Russians. Like, think of how much money we could be making.
Oh, we could have our own internet research agency?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It
Yes.
can't be that hard. This content is so stupid. Literally, people who don't speak English are putting it out. I think we could do it.
Oh man. I just remember what my pick for the show is going to be.
I hope it's Russian propaganda.
It is.
Yes. All right. Good. Well, we'll look forward to that in the pick section, won't we? All right. That's the S9 coming soon to a store near you. We'll move on. I don't think there's much more to say about that. Anything else in the rundown that's interesting? No? I'll pick a story.
What's this with the HomePod staining tables?
Yeah, this was fun. This came out a couple days ago, Colby. You might not know this. They forgot to mention in the user manual, don't put your HomePod on wooden furniture. Specifically, it's wooden furniture that is untreated or has certain types of coatings on it, but it's a pretty wide range. What people were finding is, and I'll put a picture up here on the screen for the folks watching the video version, is that the silicone base of the HomePod will actually leave a residue on wooden furniture. What it actually is it's a chemical reaction that leaves that residue. The marks can improve over several days after the speaker is removed, and you can try cleaning it with a suggested oiling method. I haven't seen anyone say that it's super duper permanent, but it's according to Apple, it is caused by oils diffusing between the silicone base and the table surface. Apple said customers who are concerned about the issue, we recommend placing your HomePod on a different surface.
Wow, weird.
Yeah.
Have either of you encountered a HomePod?
I saw one at the Apple store.
Ooh.
No, I have not encountered one. I haven't even seen one at the Apple store.
It was smaller than I thought it would be.
Mm.
It's really not that, it's smaller than a paint can.
Now, how can you hear it when you go to the Apple store?
Not when I was there, I didn't.
Okay, so they used to be that had all those Bluetooth speakers, and people just crank the shit out of them.
I was at the Apple store at about 10:30 in the morning, and there was no one there, so it was pretty chill. That's the only. I will not go to the Apple store at peak hours. It's too nuts. At least the one in Holyoke.
Remember that time we went to the Holyoke Apple store to try and wait in line for iPad 2s?
I do remember that, and we didn't get one.
No, we didn't.
No.
We didn't.
But you got to see the Holyoke Mall. Lucky you. What a
It's the only time I've ever been there.
We wait.
I dare say it's the only time I'll ever go there.
Yeah, we waited
Never
in line
know.
outside of the Borders bookstore that's not there anymore, next to the Pottery Barn that's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a not great mall. Anyhow, it looked okay. I'm not a big fan of how it looks, to be honest. I think it's just odd look. It's just kind of squat looking, and because it's all that mesh surface, it's a little too bulbous. I don't know. I don't care for it. But no, I didn't hear what it sounded like.
I think I'm not having seen one in real life. I'm having trouble like conceptualizing it like in 3D space.
You will be. I think you'll be surprised when you see it, because even like how the top surface looks, it's not. It's just like a plus and a minus button, and then like a little like maybe $50 sized Siri screen. It's not great. I don't like the design. I'm sure it sounds great. All the reviews say it sounds amazing, but design wise, I'm not impressed.
Fair enough.
But I have no taste, so take
Right.
that into you got to factor that in.
I think it looks really cool from the pictures. I like the screen. I think it's fine.
Do you think you'll get one of these, Dan?
No, even if it was amazing, I wouldn't get one. I don't know. Where would I put it? The only place it would go, I already have my TV and my surround sound speakers. Like, no.
Yeah. Do you need more speakers?
Yeah, like I guess next I would put it in my bedroom, and it would just be a glorified alarm clock. Like, no, that's a waste of that much money.
Fair enough.
Fair
Someday I'm gonna get a
Someday I'll have
for my
smart
bathroom.
light bulbs or whatever, but I don't.
Yeah, speaking of that, I did notice getting the Apple Watch that I really am not allowed to buy any more smart home stuff, because now it's kind of upsetting how many, like, I can literally turn my lights off 18 different ways. And like I was trying to set it up to do it for my watch, and I'm like, but do I use the Home app or the Hue app? And I'm like, oh, but which is better? And it's like, but only, and then it's too much. Everything, they're all connected to each other, and it's,
then you just got up and used the light switch.
I've lost control of my smart home, is what I'm saying. It's bigger than me now.
Too deep.
It's running itself. So that's a scoop with HomePods. Let's see. We're really pulling teeth on stories this week. Let's talk about Redbox. I like this story. I think.
What is Redbox?
That's that thing at the
You're such a
grocery store,
millennial.
right? You never rented. I feel like I rented a couple of Red Boxes in like college.
Oh,
There was one at the Poughkeepsie Starbucks. I mean the Hyde Park Starbucks, not the Poughkeepsie one.
Yeah.
No. I know what you're talking about, but I never used one.
Yeah, they're the big red kiosks. If people out there haven't seen them, the big red kiosks that got DVDs in them, and you give them your credit card, you take the DVD, you watch it for a couple days, and you bring it back, put it back in the kiosk. This story is interesting because movie companies got smart to Redbox. Redbox was essentially buying bulk DVDs from these companies and renting them, and people like Disney said, you know what? We don't want you to buy our DVDs and our Blu-rays anymore because we don't like your business and we'll do it ourselves. We don't need you. And Redbox said, well, screw off. So they literally just took a bunch of interns, sent them out to Best Buy, and had them buy hundreds of thousands of copies across the country of the DVDs they needed. It's kind of brilliant. But that's not where the problem comes in, because legally you can do that. The problem.
So could I set up a renting service out of my house right now?
I am not a lawyer, so don't ask me that. I don't know. That's another discussion.
Okay.
But what's interesting is that when Redbox got all the DVDs and the Blu-rays, they opened them up and found not only was the Blu-ray disc in there, but also a download code to get a digital copy. So essentially they were getting 2 copies of the movies, and Redbox got smart. And they said, all right, we're going to rent out the DVDs, but what if we sold the digital download code from the box? Unsurprisingly, Disney said, yeah, you can't do that. That's not cool. But in a Tuesday ruling, U.S. District Judge Dean G. Pregerson denied the studio's request for an injunction, arguing that the warning that codes are not for sale or transfer on the DVD and Blu-ray packaging did not constitute a binding contract. And furthermore, he wrote that licensing agreements that Disney utilizes on Movies Anywhere, which is their service, improperly forced customers to give up some of their basic ownership rights. When customers are redeeming a code, the sites essentially make them acknowledge that they currently own a physical copy. However, under copyright law, once customers buy a physical copy, they are free to sell it as much as they would a used book. Disney language legally prevents customers from redeeming their digital code if they have decided to exercise that right to resell. And the lawyer said, you can't do that. Quote, this improper leveraging of Disney's copyright in digital content to restrict secondary transfers of physical copies directly implicates and conflicts with the public policy enshrined in the Copyright Act and constitutes copyright misuse.
Well,
this is crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So legally, you apparently, according to this judge, you know, I've got discs with a digital copy I'm not using. You can go and sell them.
Well, but not if they're Flixster. Didn't Flixster just shut down last week or something?
Yes, they did. Yeah. Well, Disney. So was Flixster Ultraviolet? I forget, or were they their own?
I don't remember.
Because Ultraviolet was the one that all the services were sharing, and then Disney said, you know what, we're good. And then they went to Movies Anywhere, which I think other companies are now moving to. It's very convoluted.
Yes.
The redeeming system for these.
Yeah. I redeemed one digital movie for the only Blu-ray movie I've ever bought, which was Star Wars. Not the most recent Star Wars, the
Force Awakens.
Episode 8. Yeah, Force Awakens. And now I get newsletters from Disney that I can't seem to unsubscribe from, which is just delightful. But I can watch Force Awakens all over the place, I guess.
So you just bought that one Blu-ray and you redeemed the digital code?
Yeah, why not? I figured I might as well.
Sure, yeah.
What if my apartment burns down?
Right. I just always forget to do that.
I've got so many of those slips sitting in those DVD cases.
Right. Exactly.
The nice thing about it was like through whatever service they use, you get it on the service, but you also get like it like connects to iTunes and you just get it on iTunes. So I can just like watch it on my Apple TV without doing anything.
Well, anytime I get a Blu-ray, I rip it to my computer and then put it in Dropbox and Plex, and just do it that way.
Plex seems like so much work.
You know,
and if you're doing it, Shaun, maybe I'm wrong. No offense.
No, here's what it is, Dan. It's one of
But
those.
you're the guy who leaves the slips in the box, and I'm that guy too. So
no, it's one of those things that's easy to set up and incredibly difficult to master. Like mine is a mess, but it's enough organized where I can find stuff. But like all the metadata is garbage. It's as long as you're okay with like bad album art and like all the actors' names are screwed up, like.
But where are you like hosting your content?
On my desktop in my house. So it has to be up and running for me to.
And it's just always on?
No, but if I want to watch something, I'll just turn on the computer and then stream it to the TV.
And then go upstairs, turn on the computer.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. For me, it's not that big of a deal. No. To have like a dedicated server, yeah, you could do that. But that's a whole nother thing because then it's a whole nother thing.
Sure.
I believe it.
I do want to give a shout out on Facebook to Nate Gouvermont.
Let's get Vermont.
If you say so. No, I'm kidding. Who gives us a little fun fact that those agreements, those types of contracts we talked about written on the back of the box are called shrink wrap agreements because you agree to the contract by taking off the shrink wrap. And according to U.S. District Judge Dean D. Pregerson, he disagrees.
Well, yeah, I was talking to a friend about shrink wrap law, and this is also the principle by which, for a long time, the like EULA box when you would install like Windows software, it's like by clicking yes, you agree that by installing the software you agree to this license, which I think was overturned. I don't remember though. But then it's also the mechanism by which the license files in open source software work. It's like, by downloading this like archive that contains this file, you are agreeing to this license. But it's all traced back to this shrink wrap thing. By opening this product, you agree to yada yada.
Yep.
Weird.
Super interesting.
Well, that's why I have that sign when you come into my house that you legally agree to give me all of your download codes for your movies. Yep, you agree to that. You broke the shrink wrap on my front door, so.
Brutal.
Anyhow.
That's weird.
Yeah. Neat story. Good on you, Redbox. Disney can suck it. They got enough money.
Got it.
Cool. All right, well, we have time for one more story here. There aren't many. Or we don't have to do a story.
Let's work it all.
We can.
What's the deal with Chrome's ad blocker?
Yeah, Chrome ad blocker. That's
all right.
I think that's the most important one left.
It's
to
a good
cover.
one. Well, we teased this a little bit previously on the show that Chrome was talking about putting in some permanent ad blockers built right into Chrome. Well, they've actually rolled it out, and so I thought it might be interesting for the folks out there to learn what exactly is included in this. It is the most important thing to know. It's not an alternative to AdBlock Plus or any sort of service like that. It's just Google's effort to ban the most annoying ads from your browser. So it's not going to block all ads, just those that don't conform to the Coalition for Better Ads guidelines. The type of ads that will trigger the new ad blocker on desktop include things like pop-up ads, prestitial ads with countdown, sorry, Forbes quote of the day, autoplay video ads with sound, or those large sticky ads, the ones that stay on your, take up half of your screen as you scroll. On mobile, those plus ads that take up more than 30% of the screen, flashing animated ads, or those full screen rollover ads that as you scroll, the content kind of scrolls beneath it until it goes away.
Jeez.
If you
Those are some of the most annoying ads.
That's exactly the idea, Dan. If you end up on a site where Chrome is blocking such an ad, you'll see a pop-up in Chrome that will give you the option to sidestep the ad blocker and allow ads on that site. And there's a little screen grab here of what that will look like on mobile.
Do you know what publishers are doing in response to this yet? Anything?
I haven't seen any sort of specific response to what's being given. I mean, Google has said that they're blocking their own Google ads. I mean, they're blocking everyone's ads, evenly. So, I would assume that they're certainly.
Google has ads that don't adhere to the better ad.
Well,
policy.
I guess they could probably be displayed in a, like at some point, right? When you build your website, you say like the ad's going to show up here, and if it's like a huge box or something.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I would assume. I mean, they are part of that Coalition for Better Ads consortium, so I'm going to assume that Google is certainly encouraging users to not put up those types of ads. But I haven't seen anything.
I want to be part of a consortium.
Of course, what do they call? Oh, a concern. That's what they're called in Japan. It's a concern.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I have lots of concerns. I should be in consortiums.
You. That really sounds like you're in the mafia or something. When you're in a business mafia consortium. That's the bad guys in some sort of gritty superhero film. Like Daredevil would break up a consortium.
That could be. Daredevil takes on the World Wide Web consortium.
Yes, that sounds so evil.
Daredevil takes on the International Standards Organization.
Yes, we are the Coalition for Better Ads.
Daredevil takes on the Internet Engineering Task Force.
Well, now that just sounds like an educational series for children, where you're teaching them these things.
Yeah.
All right, kids, today we'll be reading.
Indeed.
Wow.
Well,
So anyway, this
cool.
is supposedly rolled out live now, so I have not seen any websites that have been blocked yet.
Will this happen in like Chrome for iOS too? Is it
Yes.
all the Chromes?
Yep.
Cool. That's
Yep.
it's nice.
So you can keep an eye out for that in a Chrome near you. Let's go ahead and move to picks. Put these people out of their misery. It's the part of the show where every week we each bring something to the table we want to share with the world. It looks like this week's going to be a fun one. I'll start with mine because it's the most straightforward, and that would be an app, the Apple Store app. Now you're saying, Shaun, that's really boring, and you'd be right, but I do like it because if you've ever just, I don't understand people who just show up at the Apple Store to buy something. Like, don't do that. You can do so much better than that. Use the Apple Store app. It's got all of their products, and you just go on and you add it to the cart, and you do in-store pickup, and you show up, and it took me 5 minutes to get my Apple Watch, and it was the most painless and, dare I say, fun experience. The guy like just hung out with me for like 2 minutes. He told me about the fun new classes they're giving at the Apple Store, like on photography and art, and I'm like, oh, that actually sounds kind of neat. And he's like, all right, here's your watch, sign here. And I just signed. He said, all right, enjoy, have a nice day. And I just left. It was amazing. So if you were buying something at the Apple Store or you're upgrading your iPhone, it's also probably the best way to do it. Download the Apple Store app. You can make Genius Bar appointments, use Apple Pay to check out when you buy. Yeah, it's the best way to use the Apple Store. It's the Apple Store app.
Are you going to go to any of these photography classes?
No. No, but I will look. I will look at the list. I mean, maybe they'll, if they had like one on like, no, but the problem is I don't have a Mac. If they did one like audio editing, I'd be interested, but I do it on a Windows. I don't know what I would want to learn on iOS that would be interesting. I think Mac classes would be more interesting. But I will keep an eye. The problem is, like, I did look briefly at the list. Like 60% of them were like real, iCloud for beginners, and I'm like, no, absolutely not. God no. God no. I know people who are not very tech savvy who bought some iPads and went and took the classes, and they really enjoyed them, but they were describing them to me, and they sounded very painful for someone of our experience.
Challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, go and survive an app. Find the lamest Apple Store class that you can.
Mac OS Basics.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, that would be great. Actually, I might actually even learn something because I don't know that much about.
Yeah, that'll solve your work problems.
View sessions at the store. Here we go. What's going on at the local Holyoke store? My store. Basics, iPhone. Okay. Portrait photography. Not portrait photography. No. Landscape photography. Basics of the Apple Watch. Teacher Tuesdays, storytelling with iMovie.
Ooh.
That sounds fun. Oh, here we go. Quick start, coding with Swift Playgrounds. You guys could do that.
You could.
It's true.
It's only a half-hour class. You'll be Swift experts in no time. Sketching with the Apple Pencil. That sounds fun.
Does sound fun.
Shoot photos with iPhone. Yeah,
Actually,
okay.
I should take that class. That sounds super fun.
Well, they have an activity and wellness class. What do you do in that?
Oh.
Drop into the... We can show you
put your
great...
Apple Watch on and you just run around.
They can even help you build music playlists and find the right beats for any activities. Our creatives can... They call them creatives? That's creepy. Our creatives can share ways to set goals, track progress, and even stay on top of mindfulness. Wednesday, 3 to 4:30 p.m. Damn. Okay. Anyway. Fun. They told me there's a class where they go around the mall and you take pictures around the mall to show you how to take pictures. And I'm like, this is a very depressing mall. I don't want to take pictures in this place. So anyway, the Apple Store app available on iOS now. Dan, we'll go down the list here. You've got a Twitter account here for us?
Oh, absolutely. So I this was tweeted out earlier today. Colby's already following it. I don't really understand what's going on. The bio says regular American person. The name of the account is No Collusion. I'm just going to read some choice quotes here. Let's see. Mr. President, Mr. Donald Trump say over and over, no collusion. Also, Fox and Friends. This proved no collusion. Fake news, liberals, CNN, hashtag Twitter lockout, very bad. Only real Americas. Here we microwave the corn dog. We drinks the Diet Coke. The president, Mr. Donald Trump, no collusion.
The CPAC, RNC, make best gun, the amendment 2. I very good the shooting. No collusion.
I regular America's guy. I like the flip-flops. I eat the pizza. This prove I real America's person. No collusion.
These are these are funny.
Yeah, at readomly8808. It's been fun. It's been fun so far. Takes your mind off of things a little bit, or I guess it puts it back on them.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like it.
check it out. Laugh at some stuff on Twitter.
At readomly8808, but we will of course have the link on the website. Very cool. Colby, you've got one of your. It looks like one of your patented anti-picks. What are you picking this week?
But it's not an anti-pick at all. I'm so
Yes.
glad you thought that it was.
Oh, snap.
Wow, you burned me. What do
yeah.
you got?
No, like last year for my birthday, I got a Roomba, and I finally decided that I like it. It took me a long time to properly arrange my apartment in a way that the Roomba doesn't get stuck on everything. And I still have to go, before it turns on, I have to make sure that none of my shoelaces are like sticking out on the floor, because it'll eat my shoes.
And then what happens?
It just like sucks the shoelace up into the little, like the brushy thing, and it stops and it beeps a bunch, and then it's like error. I don't know what it says after that. It's a weird human voice.
Danger.
I can't feel pain.
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
Also,
What is it like to be human?
Roomba love Colby.
I feel like there's a real missed opportunity. Like, it is not it doesn't have an endearing robot voice. It has like a generic, like, computery human voice, like Siri from 2 years ago or something. It's like very bland. But I feel like they missed a huge opportunity to make it like funny. But yeah, in general, I like it. It takes a long time to vacuum, but if you do it when you're not home and you've properly prepared, it's great. And it's not necessarily a bad thing to have to prepare, I've decided, because you'd have to sort of do that anyways.
What do you mean?
Like with a regular vacuum, you can't have
Oh,
shoelaces
sure,
lying
but that's
around.
not the dream.
No, it's not the dream. I mean, the dream is it puts the shoes away for me, but
Absolutely.
yeah, right.
I kind of like how Colby is in like a semi-abusive relationship with his Roomba, where he like, Colby, you're changing your whole life around to suit your robot vacuum.
I did. I
It's
rearranged my
controlling
whole
you.
apartment. It's right under my desk right now as we speak.
What, like holding a gun to your leg or something? Like only say nice things about Roomba?
Yep.
Blink twice if you need help. Oh no! Oh no! Very bad.
Yeah, I like it.
See, now, again, I've been having just ideas for robots. What was my idea for a robot that could make our lives easier? Do you remember,
Roomba?
Colby? No. Just this past week.
This past week.
Uh,
Oh, the shower, the robot that
Yes.
automatically adjusts your shower knob to keep the
Yes.
optimal temperature.
Yes.
They have
So,
Do they?
what do you mean?
Well, it's not a robot. They was it Kohler came out with a digital. It doesn't turn the knob. It does it all in your walls and the piping. But you like set a temperature, like 86 degrees or whatever, and then it keeps your and you can like preheat your shower and stuff, so the water comes out at exactly the temperature you want. It's a thing. You can go buy
That's
it.
pretty cool. But my idea was you could have that, but you just attach the robot to your knobs, right? Like a Nest.
Sure.
And it knows how to manipulate the knobs. But I think, yeah, if you can just switch out your shower setup, that's way better. But here's another idea. Like one of the problems you have, Colby, is that you know stuff ends up on the floor.
That's true.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that the same stuff ends up on the floor.
Yeah, pretty much.
Put an RFID thing on each of those things and like a little QR code somewhere in your apartment and a robot that just puts that thing there. That's so easy.
It puts what?
It picks up the thing with the QR code in it and it puts it, or it put with the RFID and it puts it on the QR code.
Mm.
Dan, it sounds to me like what's the robot butler from Fallout?
Yeah.
Codsworth. You just
Wow.
want a Codsworth. Yeah, I know video games.
I'm so impressed.
I watched Colby play Fallout enough. I know who Codsworth is.
Isn't that from the
Yeah.
new Fallout?
I think it is.
Is it?
Maybe there was a Codsworth in the old one.
No, I don't.
Oh, maybe.
I would take one that just picked up my dirty clothes, or like
Right.
a Roomba
But
attachment
Shaun,
that picked up my dirty clothes.
I don't think it's that weird. I think that's what we're all looking for out of these robots. You know, we want a couple good years of butlership before they take over the earth from us.
Sure. I don't think that's a lot to ask for.
A fair trade, I think.
Yeah, someone get Boston Dynamics on the phone. Get Dan one of those robot dogs. But one that can pick up his
dog would
laundry.
be fine. Just put it in the mouth.
Yeah, you just have to hold the door open for it. Make sure it doesn't escape into the wild.
Oh man.
Cool. What would you know what model of Roomba you have? Now you got me kind of wanting a Roomba, which is very bad.
You don't have a good house for a Roomba.
Well,
It's not the one that's connected to the internet.
okay.
Yeah.
The regular.
Yeah.
No, I do and I don't. Like I have a lot of carpet and it's all flat except it's on 2 levels, but I feel like
There you go, 2 Roombas.
No, what if
What
you
about
just
the stairs though?
like once a week if I just picked it and
One
brought it
Roomba per
upstairs.
stair.
Like half the week it did upstairs and then the other half the week it did downstairs.
Can you do that?
Maybe.
Probably.
I'm going to find out. Because I'm very bad about vacuuming.
Hmm.
And I've got a lot of floors. Okay, anyway. Cool. Colby's Roomba. Check it out. Just his, though. Don't buy another one. Buy his.
Yeah.
It's learned. It took a long time for him to train. It's house trained. To not eat your shoelaces.
That's a funny. I feel like that'd be a funny idea for a science fiction world where like there are robots that can do stuff, but you have to teach them how to do stuff first, and so you can get like house trained robot. Like
That's this
like
new
puppies or
machine learning
something.
world we're heading into here.
Yeah, like someday, and in this world there'll be like teachers for robots, like robot educators.
I'm waiting for your speculative research paper called Machine Learning, Human Teaching. Anyway, very good. All right, that's picks. We'll have links to all of these things and more on our website, don'tpanic.io. In case you don't remember them, we'll have the links there, so it's convenient for you. Also on the website, of course, all our episodes, audio, video. The whole archive is there. Also links on where you can subscribe on Overcast, iTunes, and anywhere you get podcasts. You can also check us out on YouTube, the video version at youtube.com/don'tpanicshow. I, of course, want to again thank all of the people who hopped on and commented and hung out with us tonight at facebook.com/don'tpanicshow and on Twitch at twitch.tv/don'tpanicshow. We do this Monday nights, I'm going to say about 10:15 Eastern on those respective pages. But if you follow us on Twitter at Don't Panic Show, we tweet when we go live. It's the best way to find out when we do so. Of course, don'tpanicshow@gmail.com is our email address. You can give us your feedback and let us know what you think of the show, and maybe we'll read it right here on the air. Anything else, guys, before we wrap up this fine evening?
Nope, that's about it for me.
No?
Looking forward to actual tech news next week.
Yeah, hopefully we'll pick it up. It was a little weak. I didn't want to talk about the new Dell laptops, so we kind of we skipped that.
Oh, wait, is that the one, though, that has the webcam that pops out of the function key in the middle?
That was one of the Asian manufacturers who's a bazillion, huge over there, but we've never heard of. But yes, I loved that.
Okay.
That was cool.
Was it?
It was so. You know me though, when it comes to unnecessary stuff in technology, I'm all in, and that was the epitome of unnecessary. But very silly. I do, however, want to take this opportunity to tease, and you guys as well, game nights at GameNights.tv. We're playing Dungeons & Dragons, and this week we saw the release of a very exciting, fun episode. We broke the format a little bit. If you've never listened, this is a great way to jump into the show, get a taste, before you go back and start at the beginning of the adventure. We're interviewing interns for our fictional office on the show this week. We've got 3 candidates. I would describe none of them as great, but believe it or not, we do end up hiring one of them. So you can check it out now at GameNights.tv.
It's really hard to get good help.
In Neverwinter, forget about it. It's near impossible. So it's very funny, and I knew it was good because as I was in the edit, I cut almost nothing. So that tells me there were no pauses. We filled the time very, very. You're getting a lot of content for your time. So. It's very volume rich, so check that out there. And of course, UpForDebate.tv. Matt and I are doing Up for Debate. We just did the book club episode on Of Dice and Men. Spoiler alert, I felt guilty at the end for how badly we trashed the author. Sorry. It was not very nice. But this coming week, guys, would you like to know what we're talking about on Thursday?
Yes.
Oh, Matt was very excited. He is all in on curling, so we are doing a Winter Olympics episode.
Oh, man. I was hoping it was just going to be a curling episode.
He wanted that, and I said, Matt, can you talk for an hour on curling? And he said no. So I said, all right.
He said no?
He said no. We will. Who knows? We may spend most of it talking about curling, but we will talk about more than just curling.
Hey, I'm excited.
Because we might actually disagree. So maybe, finally, for once. But not likely. So you can check that out at UpForDebate.tv. Coming later this week. But we've got to wrap up this show. So thanks, everybody, so much for joining us here. We appreciate it, as always. On behalf of Colby and Dan, I'm Shaun. We'll see you next time for more tech news and good times here on Don't Panic.